YouTube? I am your host, the Family Man. I'm sitting in traffic right now. I'm on the road today. Got a long drive ahead of me, so I got a little bit of time on my hands. Wanted to discuss, take a time to tell some stories. The majority of these are going to be stories from my life. Hopefully, I hope to get some other stories that give other perspectives. I always say that I don't know what it's like to be an immigrant in America. I don't know what it's like to be a white man in America. I don't know what it's like to live in China. I don't know what it's like to be a refugee. But what I do know very well is what it's like to be a black man in America. Not what you see on TV, not what you hear about in the news, but actual day to day. My first story that I want to go over took place when I was a young man. I don't remember the exact year. I was still in school. I was still riding a bike. I was bike age. I didn't have a car at this time. I met a young lady at a track meet, and she lived a town over from me. I lived in New York at this time, Long Island. I was going to Wyandanch High School, and I wanted to go visit her. So I hopped on my bike and I rode over. She lived in Half Hollow Hills. If anybody isn't familiar with that area, it's a very affluent community. When I was riding my bike, I noticed and I felt that somebody was behind me, and I turned around and I noticed that there was a police car, Suffolk County police car, that was slowly following me. And they followed me slowly for a while, and then they pulled up next to me. And he rolled his window down, and I stopped my bike and said, "How's it going, officer?" And he asked me, "Where are you going?" And I told him, "I'm going to visit a friend." And he told me, "You don't have any friends over here." I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "You heard me. You don't have any friends over here." I'm like, he said, "Where do you live?" I told him where I lived. And he told me, "Listen, I need you to get back across the train tracks because you don't have any friends over here. And don't let me catch you over here anymore." So I turned my bike around and I did just that. I went back home. Now, I was a young man at this point in time. I had no opinion on the police. When you're high school age, you don't really deal with a lot of the real life issues. I spent the majority of my earlier childhood living upstate, which is a completely different monster. But keep in mind, this took place in New York. This took place in Long Island. This wasn't Alabama. This wasn't, the Deep South. This wasn't Mississippi. This was New York in the 90s. Long Island is extremely segregated. Wyandanch is very, very close proximity to a lot of very wealthy towns. And that encounter had a profound impact on me. I didn't tell anybody at the time. I just went home and I was confused. I've always considered myself a nice guy. I try to be a nice and a good person in general. You know, I have a lot of friends, and you know, if anyone can say otherwise, please call me out on it. But I believe myself to be a legitimately nice guy. I don't hate on people. I like to see people do well, actually. I don't believe in that crabs in the barrel mentality. Just because, you know, I want success in life doesn't mean I need to, you know, tear others down in order to achieve it. But what's frustrating is that when people discuss things like, you know, you hear the topic of race baiting. Oh, you're just race baiting. You're this, that, and the other. What I don't think people understand is that I wish that race was not a factor. But my life experiences tell me that it is. And I'm 38 years old. I'm no longer really concerned for myself. I've lived my life. Obviously, I believe that I have a lot more to live, but I'm no longer concerned for myself. I have children. More specifically, I have a son. And what bothers me is to know that I'm not sure when exactly this happens, but at a certain age, he will be perceived as a threat to the majority of this country's population. No matter what kind of young man he is, no matter what his character is, no matter what he has in his heart, his skin color will cause him to be perceived as dangerous.
There's a road closed up ahead,
as a threat.
I-81 South.
And that's tough. As a father, I'm hoping and I'm praying that he does not experience the situations that I've had to go through in my life. Thankfully, I'm still here. I survived my situations. I was not killed. But that doesn't mean they did not happen. And because I survived my situations, I was not turned into a martyr. You do not see me on television. You don't see me on posters. No one's marching for my cause. But that does not mean that they did not happen. And I don't believe I'm special in any way, shape, or form. I know many young men who have similar stories. And that should not be. More importantly, most of the men my age now have families. We have children. And that's why change is necessary. And change starts with understanding. If you can't understand someone's struggle, then more than likely you don't care. But what I hope to accomplish, this was just the first. This was my very first encounter with the police. A police officer, they never got out of the car. It's not like they threw me on the ground. They didn't rough me up or anything. Nothing happened in that regard. But this had it was extremely impactful on me as a young man that I was told that we don't want you in our town. You are not good enough to come to our town. Stay where you are. Stay on your side of the train tracks. This isn't the 60s. This isn't the, you know, the Jim Crow. This was the 90s in New York. And this was just the first. And over time, I'll tell you more stories in my personal experience. I would love to hear from others. If someone could give me, but I can only tell you from my perspective and what I've gone through. But yeah, look forward to some more of these. I have sadly too many stories that I need to get off my chest, especially in today's day and age and the climate that we live in.
You can avoid it by going via I-95 South and I-85 South, which saves 25 minutes.
I'm going to put forth some effort to get some other interviews and get some other stories, so that what I hope to accomplish is that we can have a better understanding of what others go through. A lot of people, you know me, you've worked with me, but you may not know and fully understand what it means to be me. The same as I don't understand what it means to be you. So, yeah, we're gonna call it right there. I'm gonna have more content coming soon.
To take exit 3
and
for I-278
yeah,
West
appreciate
of
your
Arizona
time today.
Bridge towards Staten Island.
You have a good one.